Okay, the other big thrust was to this time, obviously with the view to spurring demand, was to give more to the middle class, put more in the pocket of the middle class, a tax bonanza. We know that the announcement was made across 7 different aspects, but is that really the case? It seems more like an attempt to make the new tax regime more attractive, the real default regime. That's what a lot of people are saying. I want your view on this.
Sure, Rahul. First of all, the middle class is extremely important for us, and the steps we have taken over the last 9 years have to be seen in context. After all, when we make it easier to meet the day-to-day needs of a person and a family, that is equally a benefit to the middle class. Everything is not only about a tax regime, and I'll come to that also. When we increase the number of students who get an opportunity to do medical education, to become engineers, or to get trained in soft skills, to get vocational training, to study abroad, all of these things also help our middle class. Over the years, different tax exemptions have kept on growing. The limits have kept on growing, the tax exemptions have kept on growing, so it's a long-term play that you will have to consider. Even in this budget, some people are trying to calculate the old tax regime and the new tax regime and say there's no benefit at all in the old tax regime. I beg to differ with them. They're taking a scenario where they assume that every taxpayer will enjoy the fruits of every exemption, which is rarely the case. There may not be 1 or 2% people who can enjoy every one of those exemptions that are offered in the old tax regime. And now standard deduction has also been extended further. So my own sense is that this is not an apple-to-apple comparison. Everybody stands to gain from the changes that have been made, and clearly middle class particularly likes to have things simpler. They want ease of doing business, which we have done over the last 9 years. They want ease of living, which has been our focus area, and therefore the process and procedure of tax paying and the tax regime is equally important for them. Today they don't have to rush to an income tax office to get their refund. It comes into their account automatically. They don't have to worry about tax assessments. There's very little assessment. Most of it is artificial intelligence based, and randomly people are selected. But those assessments are also faceless, so the tax officer doesn't know who is the taxpayer is. And finally, if I may conclude, taxpayers are not against paying taxes. When you earn good amount of money, you don't mind contributing to nation building in small measure. But as Honorable Prime Minister has said on more than one occasion, as Honorable Finance Minister also reiterated today, every single rupee of tax that is collected by the Modi government over the last 9 years has gone in for serving the people of India, for preparing the nation for better times in the future. They have gone in for the good of the country, for the good of the poor, for the good of 140 crore Indians.
Okay, let me persist and play devil.